Nice haul.
Got it. Hey, we are back this week. We're actually dropping shrimp pots. We're on the north end of Revillagigedo Island again. And friend and good buddy Mark Donner's up, and he is a master shrimper, or a shrimp master. And he's just helping us out today. We're going about 500 feet deep with our pots, and he'll come out here on deck and we'll get these rigged up and thrown over and kind of show you the whole process. We're starting this trip off from Knudson Cove Marina. We went about 10 miles north and spent the night in an off-grid home. So now we're heading north to the top of Revillagigedo Island. And this is a brand new shrimping area for us. So we're going to do a little bit of prospecting this morning. We were planning for a 3-day shrimping adventure. In Southeast Alaska, we're pretty much at the mercy of the weather, the tides, the shrimp and seafood. Sometimes they're there and sometimes they're not. So we're going to see what happens here.
Haven't been out for about 5 months, and you can lose touch in a month of where they're at.
Are we 412?
Yeah, 410. It's going to come up here real fast.
Wow. Be a good place for lingcod right on this.
Well, we passed a spot back there. I'm going to set a shrimp pot. I saw a nice shelf coming here, so I'm going to throw one out there. I got a first aid kit on board, so you just swing away. My initials are MD, so I can fix them.
It's nice because we can use every part of the fish that we catch in the summer to provide food for a lot of people. So we use the fillets, the carcass. Guys will take the roe, actually use that for different things, fishing, eating.
Yeah, we're gonna set a couple of shrimp pots here. So these are collapsible, so you can stack them. So you got to put them back together here for the tunnels. So there's 3 tunnels. So you'll hook that one there. This one will hook here. And this one goes over here. And now you got your tunnels for the shrimp to get in. So shrimp, they're real skittish. A lot of movement in the pot will scare them away. And so you kind of want to suck things up as tight as you can and keep things from moving around. I've put snaps on the bottom of the bait bags and things to hold them from moving. Didn't seem to make a difference. But if one gets loose and is bouncing around, it won't fish at all. They want to hang right in the middle of the tunnel, just like that. Straight down, so they got to come in and get at them. And I long line them, so I put 2 on each pot, each buoy. The shrimp, they hang in a layer. They don't spread out very far. So if they're at 300 feet and you're setting at 400 feet, you're below them. So it takes 3 or 4 weeks of fishing to zero in on where they're at, then you can follow them. But then they won't show up on any sonars. What shows up in fish is they got an air bladder. And the air bladder is what you're picking up. Well, shrimp don't have an air bladder, so you can't see them. So it's trial by fire. You just till you find them. This is the first of the year, first set. So we'll see how we do, and if not, we'll go to the store and buy you some. See this little shelf here comes out, and it's about $4.50. Everything comes up to it. I'm going to lay on that, and there's a shelf here that it goes this and this. I'm going to try to hit that shelf right there, and give it a shot. It'll start coming up here right now. Our 504 Should start sprinting up on us here. So I think it's temperature, the temperature of the water. That's what I'm basing it off of. Is in the summertime, I find them up around 325, and they're coming up to the heat. And sometimes I've been on 500 feet and got them in the wintertime. I don't know. So when you're long lining, your first pot's here, your next one's about 100 feet down, so you got to make sure you get them right. So this will be the first pot over. One will go here, and you kind of keep tension on it, and the other one should be 100 feet down the line. Should, in theory. You're looking probably, I'm going to go about 450 feet. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Let her go. So when he sets this, he's got to be ready because that line's peeling out, that pot's right behind him. The next one's going to be coming in. And it'll sneak up and grab you right from behind. It's kind of why I like setting off my kicker. It's not strong enough to do damage to them, like setting off your mains. The mains, you can get caught up and jerk you right off the boat. I think we could stop that engine. And there it is. And like I said, I just keep turning it like this to keep it out of my props.
So basically a 50-story building. That's how much these pots are going down. 500 feet.
And you'll see on my plotter, when I circle like this, there's a track line. You know right where you've been. And when I circle, I'm actually circling where the pot's at, so I know exactly where to come back. You don't have to mark it. I got a circle on my track line. You can't lose them. Well, I haven't yet. Came out first of last year, and they were soaking wet, and we had a freeze. And I wasn't really thinking. I threw the pots over, and that was a big block of ice, and the whole line just came out in a big chunk. I couldn't hold on to it, I had to let it go. It came back right.
Should we talk about our king crab pot that we went 50-50 on?
That's for a later episode.
We'll come back to that one.
We'll circle
I'm not
back
going
to
to
that.
forget about it.
You lose one king crab pot. All right, I'm gonna run across the other side of the canal here.
Break time.
Break time, get some heat.
Eat a cookie.
Straight across here. We're gonna put one on that shrimp there and the one over there. And then we go ahead down to the Fitzgerald. Set the rest of the pots. See what I do with my gloves? What do I do with my gloves? Someday I'm gonna be a hand model. I don't wanna mess these up.
Right.
Where the heck did I put them at? Every shrimp pot, the fishing game, they make you put a cotton in. And so if you lose your pot, the cotton will deteriorate and it lets the shrimp out so they're not stuck in there. So one of the things you want to do is check your cotton and make sure it's not breaking or breaks easy. And this looks good, so we're good. So that's just an important thing you have to remember, because it'll deteriorate over the winter and just fall apart. And we throw a shrimp pot in and we come back next day and they're just gone. So something to keep it on the Rolodex. First year I'll be
King crab pot.
Once! One time! And the one thing to point out to people, if you rig up your gear for doubles, some can go 4, you gotta have the block to pull it. I put 5 pots out the very first time I went, and I had a smaller pot, and I couldn't pull them. I had to go get some of the bigger boats. So keep in mind, when these come up, they're heavy, and you need the gear to get them up.
We're using silver salmon, coho salmon carcasses. The good thing about that, as soon as we fillet them, we freeze them. So these are actually, you get stranded, you can cook them and eat them. I wouldn't suggest that, but put some rice, flop it on top. It's probably better sushi than what they serve down south.
If you invite you over for dinner, I turn it down.
So we're in 465 feet of water.
I like it too.
We're down on the tide. We have 20-foot tides up here, and we're down about 15 feet right now. Tide's going out. So.
And I run 600 feet of line on there.
Yeah, that's something you got to pay attention to when you're dropping crab pots, where the tide is. With that 20 foot, if you drop and you only got 10-foot slack, you will lose your pot.
Usually the buoys are heavy enough they'll float your pots, and they'll just
Yeah.
float and they'll just disappear on you. Someone will find them later.
Yeah.
Unless they hang up on a rock. All right, Matt, we can let them go.
Good.
If you're setting your gear and you kind of know you're at the limits of your line, but you want to be there, be aware of which way the tide's going, because if you throw it in and that tide's ripping out that way, these sink so slow, they could drift 100 feet and go over the shelf you're trying to set on. So you've got to overcompensate a little bit to put them where you want. Tides do rip through here pretty good. Whew. We'll go on the other side of the mouth of this harbor here, go get that.
Fish head soup. So we sell all types of bait and additives in our shop at Knudson Cove Marina. Shrimp bait is one of them. It's basically just pelletized fish food, and I think they have other scents and attractives in there. We sell a lot of ProCure additives, mites, and of course fresh bait, herring, squid, anchovies. You can get right there in our freezer. Gonna pull our shrimp pots today. They've been here for about 18 hours and the weather picked up. Our windy app said it was going to be a little less windy today, but we're going to fight the current and the wind for a little bit, so it'll get exciting, but we're hoping for the best. Hold on, and hopefully we'll fill a whole basket full of shrimp today.
Roger, right off the bow up there. This will be the easy one. It was kind of tucked behind the little isthmus there, whatever you want to call it, but out there they're right in the channel. It's going to be a little wetter out there. A little more wind, but still fun. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So just this deck's going to get kind of cluttered back there, just so you kind of know what to expect. But everything else is going to go perfect. Bob's your uncle, man.
One thing I really truly enjoy about Southeast Alaska, being from Oregon originally and exploring down there, is everything up here is unexpected. No matter what we're doing, fishing, hunting, hiking, goofing off, this ocean is full of life and you just never know what you're going to see or find. This is a box crab. It's really cool. Compared to the Dungeness that I grew up with down in Oregon, and tanners and king crab up here, the box crab is really interesting, and we'll probably do a session on that. But more importantly, we only got one spotted prawn in this pot, so hoping for more in the next ones to come. These little shrimp-like beings are called scrimp. At least that's the layman's terms up here. There's not much meat on them. I've heard they taste kind of shrimpy or crawdad type flavor to them. So we don't keep them, but some people do.
We're after spot prawns. We have pulled up 2 spot prawns, which is almost enough for a side salad. So we're gonna go pull up. We got 4 more shrimp pots out, 2 more lines, so we're gonna go try for some more.
Yeah, at least it'll be a smooth ride back.
Yeah.
You jump in front of you, you can stay there.
Noticing.
Got it. Did you get him?
I don't think so.
I didn't feel a second bounce.
I think I got it with the hole just in time. The sun's just up. Didn't kick the motor up or anything. Woo!
Yeah.
Those are called deadheads, and they will ruin your day.
That was a big one.
I'm going to shut off that engine and pick it up just to take a peek at it. Look at the prop. Yeah, you hit those, they tear your lower. It'll tear them right off. All is good. Did you get that on film?
I got you on.
That'll ruin your day. Oh, that sun is just right at that worst time of day right now. It's right in where you can't make heads or tails. It hides everything.
Debris in the water up here is common. We have these extreme 20-foot tides that will push and pull large logs off the beach, and they're hard to see, so you have to pay attention 100% of the time up here.
If we get better than 2 shrimp, we're moving forward.
Like many trips that we go on, they're not always where you plan, but there's always a plan B.
So we're going to clean this one. And like I said before, you're just going to put your thumb behind the helmet and then toss that. A lot of people will keep the heads and boil them for flavor, but we don't. But I want to show you how pure these are. And they don't have the black vein in them like a lot of ones down in the south or in river systems have. Get this all entangled here. But these are so pure that you can eat them right out of the water. And I dropped that. But they taste the same. Believe it or not, that you can just pluck them right out of the water and they taste very similar to just being cooked. There's not a lot of difference there. But they are edible straight out of the water up here. We don't have a lot of contamination up in Alaska, in the waters that we're in. So I like fishing and crabbing and hunting around clean areas. It makes a big difference in your food and what you're bringing out. So we didn't do too well, and that's the way it goes sometimes. We were prospecting, trying to find a new location. We got enough for a full side salad. So we're resetting in a different area and gonna try that out too. First time we've set here too, so gonna hold our breath a little bit. See what happens, but a day like this beats sitting in the office. So today we're on round 2 of dropping shrimp pots. We tried a second spot after we didn't do so hot on the top of the island. So we're just pulling up to our first one. We'll see what we got. Got a box crab, huh? Got a couple of them. I got 3 of them. a couple mediums, but the rest of them are all big.
Good side trip.
Feel better about yourself now?
I do. Kind of better.
Spot Prawn, you just go in right behind the helmet. Careful of their spear, that will go through your boot or glove or anything, but you just press and it comes right off. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed shrimping with us. A little bit of a challenge, but that's the way it is in Alaska. Especially where we are in the southeast, you just got to find them. There's plenty to find, you just got to find them. So we had a great time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit like and please subscribe. Let our sponsors know that you appreciate the videos and we can keep them rolling out to you. So we'll see you next week.